I'm M. Carter Pierce, and you're watching The Daily Reel. I don't know what country we're living in right now, but it looks like the de facto leader has totally gone batshit crazy. That's it. He's lost his mind. Probably because he was forced into signing that into law to release the Epstein files. And we all know his name is all over it. He's in big trouble. Pam Bondi has 30 days to release those files, and when she does, oh brother, is it going to get wild. So what does he do? Yesterday, a third court in D.C. ruled that Donald Trump's deployment of the National Guard and the military in Washington, D.C. is illegal. It violates the Posse Comitatus Act. So now that's California, Oregon, and Washington, D.C. 3 judges have said this. But let's face it, we all know that it's wrong. Those of us who have served know that it's wrong. We also know that bombing fishing boats in the Caribbean without any evidence whatsoever that they're trafficking drugs is wrong. We're not boarding and investigating. We're just straight bombing them. We know it's wrong. We took an oath. And not just the military, but law enforcement as well. We all take an oath. And that oath is to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that we could take those actions. As a matter of fact, the law tells us with the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878, the Posse Comitatus Act specifically states that the military cannot move into the states and take up law enforcement activities, except for 3 conditions which have not been met. Severe civil unrest, where the government cannot function anymore. Violent protests and insurrection. None of those have taken place in California, Portland, Oregon, Washington, D.C., and for that matter, Tennessee or Chicago, Illinois. As a matter of fact, Trump and Stephen Miller have exacerbated that kind of behavior. They've been baiting for it with this racist-based ICE movement going through cities and profiling and harassing people of color. But we're in such a state right now where we've got a 35-time convicted felon, an adjudicated insurrectionist, and sexual abuser who is now about to have the rug pulled from under his feet with the release of the Epstein files if he hasn't scrubbed his name totally out of it. Which, if he did, that'll come out eventually too. Because the evidence that's already out there is damning. It's damning. But he's so shaken by that when Democratic politicians who he already hates because what? They don't like him. They know what he's about. They know his gig. And they don't like him. Because they said that these soldiers have the right to disobey an illegal order. He just can't stand that. Mr. Fragile Ego just can't take that. That's like beyond the pale for him. That's taking control out of his hands. Because, see, if he does decide that he doesn't want to leave in 2028, if he's still with us in 2028, this time he's going to try to use the military to stay. Because that's why he's all about allegiance to him and not the Constitution. He wanted to make them sign loyalty pledges. He wanted to make government employees sign loyalty pledges to him. Unconstitutional. Illegal. So what does he do when his power is threatened? He threatens the people that said it with death. He said they should be hanged. Seditious, treasonous behavior. Buddy, if anybody has committed any kind of sedition or treason, Mr. Trump, it is you. I'm looking right at you. You're the guy. Where do we begin? We want to talk treason? Okay. You've defied court orders. They're already looking at you for contempt. You have not defended and upheld the Constitution. You've spit all over it, which means treason. Plain and simple. You've accepted bribes. Do I need to go any further? Now, some people are saying he's crazy. Invoke the 25th. No. We're not going to invoke the 25th. We want him impeached. We want him impeached and convicted in the Senate. That way, him and that whole gallery of ignorant fools, unqualified, uneducated cabinet members, and J.D. Vance, they all got to go. That's what we want. And he can never again, even though at his age it's doubtful, but he can never again try to aspire to the Oval Office. Never again. And not just him, but J.D. Vance, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and the whole Project 2025 gaggle of geese. That's what we want. Me, personally, as someone who served, and I'm sure many of you have too, and many veterans who supported him are now starting to get it. I was offended when he called those who served suckers and losers. I was offended when he said John McClane, yes, a Republican, who was a POW in what they called the Hanoi Hilton for 6 years and didn't give up his country. When he, a man whose daddy had to get him 5 deferments through buying off a doctor saying that he got bone spurs. I got bone spurs and I still served. But nonetheless, he who did that is going to tell a man who was a prisoner of war. He says, I don't like guys that got captured, okay? And called him a loser. And now he's telling the current active military that they should violate their oaths, violate the Constitution. Just a little fact. Remember when he went and made his speech at West Point earlier this year? And nobody shook his hand? Do you know why they didn't? Because it's in the military code. You are not allowed to shake the hand of somebody who is a known insurrectionist or a traitor. That's why they didn't do it. And I wouldn't either. But you're saying, that's right, go ahead and violate your oath in service of me. Bruh, you done woke up and bumped your head on something. It was probably J.D. Vance's dick or maybe Bill Clinton's dick. since you like to blow Bubba? I don't know. But I mean, did Roy Cohn turn you out? I'm just asking for the people. For the people, not force the people. Something is wrong. 46 other presidents, and they never called for the execution of members of Congress, sitting members of Congress, or for that matter, former members of Congress, or state governors, or other politicians. It's never happened until we got the crybaby in chief. No, we don't want the 25th Amendment. We want an impeachment and a conviction. We need it if we're going to save America, because leave this man to his devices and there will be no more America. You better believe it. You think it's bad now? Wait till the files come out, if they do come out and if they're not scrubbed. Wait till the truth hits the light of day, if it ever does. And not to mention, he and his friends are already working on next year's evil. They're on it right now. They have plans. And it ain't good for the average American, I can tell you that right now. If you're a billionaire or the uber wealthy, it's great. More money for you. And more money for you to give to him. Because he's protecting your interests. But remember, they're only the upward 1%. What about the other 99%? Like us. Us. Who got to juggle who gets paid. Who's got to call up and try to beat a late fee. Who's got to worry about their car being repossessed. Who's already worried now because you're living paycheck to paycheck, but your health insurance is about to double or triple or quadruple. Where do we live now? We don't want the 25th. We want an impeachment and a conviction. I'm M. Carter Pierce, and you're watching The Daily Reel. Thank you so very much for taking the time to watch this video. If you agree with me, please comment, like, subscribe, share to everybody that needs to know, except MAGA. I don't care what you have to say. You'll be blocked and deleted. Because I don't need to hear Trump's robot points. I already heard it from him. I don't need to hear it from you. Because it's all garbage and lies anyway. And with that being said, I'll see you next time on the bonus reel.